Hey people, I just heard the news about Pat Patterson passing away today. I just found out in the afternoon. And first and foremost, my sincere condolences to his family and friends and people that loved him and stuff like that. As you see, there's plenty of tributes from all over the world about how great this man was to people. And I just wanted to share my stories with Pat Patterson. In 2010, I was wrestling for a promotion called Top of the World that was ran. The promoters was Marc Blondin and Sylvain Grenier, the four-time WWE Tag Team Champion. They were running shows, and I was fortunate enough to be on those shows. And on one of the shows particularly, Pat Patterson was there. After my match, he came up to me. He's like, how come I never known about you or anything like that? And I'm like, I don't know. But that should tell you also, always promote yourself, get yourself out there so, people hear about you. Anyways, he paid me like one of the biggest compliments ever on this earth. He said it was bittersweet too. He was like, had I ran into you 10 years ago, you could have been another Rock. You know what I mean? Like, you have that charisma. You could have, I was like, whoa, mind blowing. So I was like, whoa. But at the same time, I was like, But then he asked me, would you like to have a WWE tryout? Now, up to that point, and this was 2010, I was wrestling since 99. I never fathomed having a tryout in any kind of capacity for the WWE. It wasn't even a thought on my mind, because it's not like how it is now, where you can see the opportunities, you see the laneways. You just didn't even think to go, or at least I didn't. It wasn't even a thought. So when he told me that, I said yeah, and he got me my first tryout, and it was in Ottawa. It was just before a SmackDown taping, and I didn't get signed or anything like that. And then he's like, he told Sylvain, he goes, hey, you know what? This guy has it. He should do a tryout for FCW. Let him invest, pay for it, but it's gonna pay off in dividends. So I said, okay, so no problem. So FCW had we were doing open tryouts, and you had to pay something like $1,000 for the tryout. But like I said, and like he said, it was an investment, because after I did that tryout, I had numerous, like, they were contacting me for more tryouts. So that was cool. So I went down there, did the tryout, and I think on day 2 or day 3, he was the guest speaker. Anyways, he found me before he did his guest speaking, and he gave me words of advice, and he asked me how I was doing, and he was telling me that the coach just thought that I was doing good, and he just gave me positive reinforcement to keep on doing what I was doing, and that was it. And then he gave his speech, and that day we were doing matches, and that particular show I got one of the top matches. Like, everybody liked the match that I had, and he referenced it when he spoke to the guys in the afternoon. You know what I mean? How to how to interact with the crowd, how to move around, ring presence, and then he pointed me out like how he did earlier that day. So he gave me a rub, and he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? And just think of all the people that he's helped, get to the next level or the bigger level in the WWE. So, like, I never forgot that. And then at that time, I would also do some coaching for Sylvain. Sylvain had a wrestling school also. And so I would go there, and he'd come by, and, he would just talk to me. And I'd always wanted to pick his brain, like, how was it tagging with Ray Stevens, or being the Intercontinental Champion, fighting Bob Backlund, cage matches and stuff like that. And he always took his time to answer me. You know what I mean? He allowed me to pick my brain. And one of the biggest regrets was I didn't get a chance to really mess with him. Because at the same time, you want to gather as much information as possible, but at the same time, you don't want to harass, somebody who just came there just to chill out with a friend. He was there. He was Sly's friend and stuff like that. So I didn't want to bombard him with stuff. All right. So then after that, he contacts Sly and tells Sly, hey, listen, we're going to give Dru another tryout. So at this point, it's 3 tryouts that this man has, between him and Sly, just giving me opportunities because they believed that, there was something there. And so the next tryout that I had that he set up, him and Sly set up for me, was in Boston. It was just before the Raw. And then after that, it was Connecticut the next day for SmackDown. So I remember I had 2 tryouts that day in Boston. The first one was with Trent Beretta and Nunzio. I can't remember his name right now, but from the, you know who Nunzio is. I can't remember his first name. Great wrestler, great catch wrestler too. Submission. Excuse me. He told me Trent has a TV taping. Don't touch him. So basically, don't try any moves. Don't try anything. Don't do anything. Don't hurt him. You know what I mean? So I felt handicapped. So I just basically let Trent. I just followed him, and Trent went through the motions, and so did I. So I really didn't show him anything other than just following him to show that I could do some chain and stuff. And he was there watching Pat, and Pat walked up to Nunzio. He was like, no. This guy can do enziguris at 300 pounds. He can do leapfrogs. He does rolling sentons. Give this guy a chance. He does Vader bombs. Give him another chance. You know what I mean? So, and once again, he didn't have to do that and stuff. So, just the fact that he went to Nunzio, and Nunzio was like, okay, Pat, boom. So then, my second tryout was with Darko, and that's a whole different story. But anyways, and that's something we could talk about another time. I bought Pat's book, and it was such a good read. Shout out to the author, Bert. And just to read that and just to see how his life was. And like everybody's going to tell you, incredible man. He was somebody that I had no connection with or whatever. He saw me, saw that I had potential, and was willing to help a stranger. So Pat, infinite blessings. May your soul be at rest, and God bless you for everything that you try to do for me.